الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين.
Often it's misunderstood that this dua was taught to them after they came to the earth. But actually, this dua they made while they were still in Jannah, immediately when they got caught. And it is after that that Allah says, "Ihbitu, qala ihbitu ba'dukum li ba'din adu." Come down from here, you will be enemies to each other. In other words, as soon as they made dua to Allah to forgive, Allah forgave them. Listen carefully, Allah forgave them while they were still where? In Jannah. And then Allah sent them to the earth, meaning Allah did not send them to the earth to punish them. Allah did not send them to the earth to punish them. That was already done with. The mistake has been made, the lesson has been taught, istighfar has been made. And when someone genuinely asks Allah for forgiveness, we went through this before, then Allah has forgiven. That's done with. Now Allah says, now you're ready for the earth. Now that you've made a mistake, and you've learned that mistakes will get caught, and then you've turned back to Allah in forgiveness, now that you understand this cycle, now you're ready for life on this earth. And life on the earth will be more difficult because you'll become enemies to each other. In other words, shaitan will be your enemy, but often man will become woman's enemy, woman will become man's enemy. You'll point the finger at each other. You won't be like this where you're genuinely asking Allah for forgiveness together. You won't be like that anymore. You'll become more selfish. And so Allah warned both of them that this is going to happen if you don't watch out. This was the test. This experiment in Jannah is literally what it was. It was a lab test before you get into the real field. This is the real field, you know. That wasn't to trick them to be thrown into the earth and they're punished on the earth and we could have been in Jannah if they just didn't eat that fruit. We would have been fine. No, that's the Christian version. Quran's version, Islam's version is not that. They were not punished and sent to the earth. They were meant to come to the earth. إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. I've sent a Khalifa on the earth. So the last thing I want to share with you about this dua is that sometimes Allah will bring some difficulty to us in this life because of our sins. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, ما أصابكم بمصيبة فمما كسبت أيديكم. Allah says that, Allah wants you to taste some of the sins you've done in this life. Some consequence of it. And sometimes when a calamity hits, Allah says that's because of what you did with your own hands. There are some things you did that are messed up and they lead to consequences. There are consequences for our actions. I'm not saying one day you were bad to your mom and the next day you slipped on a banana peel and broke your leg. Those two things are connected. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying there are sometimes consequences for our mistakes. But those are not punishments. Just like their clothes being removed and Allah questioning them was not a punishment. How could it possibly be a punishment? They're still in Jannah. That's just a teaching moment. That is Allah teaching. Sometimes teaching is done through discipline. Those difficulties that we get in life, those are special moments in which we have to turn to Allah and say, we've done wrong to ourselves. If you don't cover for us, and if you don't forgive us, and if you don't show us love and mercy, then definitely we've become from those that are lost. In other words, if we didn't make that dua, if we didn't turn to Allah and acknowledge our mistake, then we would be ultimate losers. The last thing, I know I'm taking long, but this is important for myself to remember and you to remember. The big difference between shaitan and Adam alayhi salam is one thing. The big difference between the two. Both of them made a mistake, yes or no? Our parents made a mistake, shaitan made a mistake. They both disobeyed Allah Azza wa Jal. It's true. But one of them, after making the mistake and after being told that's a mistake. Adam was told, you made a mistake. Our mother was told, she made a mistake. Iblis was told he made a mistake. Same thing. But when he was told he made a mistake, he started explaining why he did it. I have reason. It's logical. He's made of dirt. Why am I supposed to? I'm better. It's not just arrogance. He's offering a logical explanation. Adam alayhi salam could offer a logical explanation too. He could. In other durus I've explained that, but instead he says, I made a mistake. Every time you and I make a mistake and we get caught, there's going to be an urge inside you. Let me explain myself. Let me justify. Let me offer a rationale. Let me not admit. Let me not just admit to myself, I messed up. Ya Rab, I messed up. And remember, that confession you have to make is not to other people, it's to Allah. Rabbana zalamna anfusana. Not Ya ayyuhan nas zalamna anfusana. You tell Allah, you messed up. You confess to Him, you leave your excuses behind, and it is only then that you're not from among the losers. And if you still hold on to the way of excuses, that's the way of shaitan. He justifies his behavior. He offers excuses. وَلَوْ أَلْقَى مَعَاذِيرَ, Allah says about human beings. They keep on making excuses. May Allah Azza wa Jal prevent us from those that make excuses. I'll promise I'll stick to my time limit, inshallah ta'ala, from tomorrow, 10 to 10:15. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.